Hello there. Just wanted to make sure everyone could hear me. I have my cup today. A lot of you keep saying, Bonda, where is the cup? Where is the cup? Here's the cup today with my tea in it. Hello, Deborah from North Carolina, Janice from Oklahoma, Tracy from St. Lucia, Christine in Arkansas, Michelle in Ohio, Laverne in Maryland, Julie in Tennessee. Hello, you guys. Welcome. Thank you for coming back today. If you were on the other day, I was having some issues going on with the construction in my home. So it completely destroyed the live feed with the lag and everything like that. So if you're joining for the first time today, welcome. Hello, Jennifer from Seattle. How are y'all doing? Y'all ready for the weekend? Have your kids started school already? I know my kids did, both of them. I have an eighth grader and a preschooler. So, yes. I'm going to give a few more minutes for some more people to join this live feed because this information is extremely important. Hello, Demetrius in Arizona and trying to get it from South Carolina. Hello. I always give this disclaimer just so everyone is clear on what we're doing here. This information that I'm giving you is Texas law specific, okay? It only relates to Texas law. What I'm giving you is not legal advice. I don't represent any of you or anything like that. This is general information that you need to know. And if you have the opportunity to speak with an attorney, if you're currently going through this type of situation, you will want to speak to an attorney in your jurisdiction to see if some of what I'm saying is related to a situation you may be going um, in court about. Tyra. Hi, Tyra. Your first live. Welcome. Hi there, KT Cox from Texas. How you doing? Chloe from Amarillo. We have some Texas people in here. Hey, Judge Bundaby. Dwayne Taylor from New York. What's up, Dwayne? Brianna from Chicago. Mike, hi, how are you? Michelle, my hubby was born in El Paso. Okay, shout out to El Paso. Tammy, Corey, a bird's eye view from outer space. That's hilarious. Okay, Houston, Texas in the house. Virginia is here. Louisiana. Sammy from England. Hello, welcome. Diane, Arkansas. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Oklahoma. Cali. Welcome, you guys. So there are quite a few of you who have jumped in here. But before I get started, we have a birthday. Caitlin from Columbus, Georgia. Happy birthday. Everyone, please wish Caitlin a happy birthday. Hello, Jeremiah from El Paso. Courtney Brianna Gibson, Fort Worth. Jennifer in Grove Village, Illinois. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we talk a lot about on, not on just on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. I know you all have seen it. The 12-year-old, a child that is at least 12 years old. Can they decide who they want to live with, right? Everybody says, well, yes, they can decide. They're old enough. The law says that they can decide. Well, let me clear some things up for you, okay? If this is your first time tuning in, you probably have not had an opportunity to catch my live from last week when I was at the Family Law Conference that's held here in Texas, in San Antonio, Texas specifically. And we are given case law updates, different things that have taken place across courts in Texas. So this one piqued my interest because it involved a 12-year-old, okay? So just to give you background, this case is the name is In the Interest of C as in cat, R as in Randy, D as in dog. In the Interest of CRD. This case comes out of the Tyler, Texas court. All right. Tyler, Texas is going towards Louisiana in that part of Texas. I believe it's called East Texas. That's where you're headed. So in this particular case, there was a dispute, a modification that arose between the mom and the dad. The dad filed for the child to be interviewed by the courts. And just in case any of you are wondering what I am reading from, this is the lovely binder, 3 that they give us. I know it's huge, right? One of 3 that they give us that has all of the information with case law updates, different things that we need to know in being a law practitioner and everything like that. So, as I was saying, mother and father had this modification dispute. father filed for the court to speak to the 12-year-old. The case involved a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. With um, a child that's under 12, the court has the discretion of whether or not they want to speak to them. But as of right now, it's mandatory with some exceptions I'm going to get into for a 12-year-old. Well, in this case, the counselor for the child believed that, hey, yeah, court, go ahead and speak to the child. And just so you all know, I'm paraphrasing here. I was not present to know exactly what was said, but I'm just paraphrasing it here for you so it'll make a lot of sense to you. So the child's counselor believed that the child can move forward with the interview. Well, the attorney that represents the child, it is known as either, people say it different ways. It's either the amicus or the amicus. That's the attorney that represents the child and gives a report to the court about, different things that they discuss that are related to whatever the outcome may be for the case. After speaking with the child, this attorney reported back to the court that the child was anxious, very upset, and appeared to be physically ill, and did not believe that the court needed to conduct this interview because they believe that it would not be fitting for the child to have this interview. Okay. Well, dad urged the court and said, no, I want my child to be interviewed. I want my child to be interviewed. Ultimately, the court said no. What happened next? Dad appealed the case. And guess what the Court of Appeals said? The Court of Appeals said that in the event where a child could be interviewed and it could endanger the child's safety and welfare, the court shall decline to have that interview. The exact words were, it would be absurd to do it. Okay. So you guys understand that, right? Essentially, I said a lot there. But in Texas, if there is a chance that the child interviewing, telling the court the things that they want the court to know, if the court believes that it could endanger that child, the court does not have to speak to that child. So I want you all to understand that, because right now the law says that a child that is at least 12 years old, the court shall speak to them in chambers. Now, I know when you guys hear chambers, you automatically think the child is being brought into the area where the judge has their office. That's not necessarily the case in Texas. We actually have a special unit that does that. They conduct they were called social studies. Now they're called child custody evaluations. The counselors that are housed in there, that's where the interviews actually take place a lot of the times, but they can happen in chambers. I just want to make sure I clear that up for you all, just in case someone goes to court and the child is not spoken to in the court's chambers. So it says that the requirement is that the child must be at least 12 years old, and it has to be in their best interest. That's what the law says. Now, I gave you one of the exceptions about endangering the child's safety, well-being, everything like that. Okay. So that's one exception. The Court of Appeals also went further to say something else. And you guys need to really listen to this. And I hope that who are in Texas or even outside of Texas, if this is a situation someone is going through, or you could be going through it personally, take down these notes and go seek legal advice, because it is extremely important. If you file in court and you're asking the court to interview your 12-year-old or your 13-year-old, 14-year-old, if you're asking that they are interviewed and conservatorship is at issue. What's conservatorship? Conservatorship, remember, joint managing conservators, sole managing conservators. Remember, we talked about that, right? So if that is at issue, it is mandatory that the court speak with that child. Okay. Now, if possession and access is the only thing at issue, what do I mean by possession and access? So we've talked about standard visitation, the first, the third, and the fifth weekend, and you rotate holidays, right? Or you can alternate that schedule where you have a week on, week off, 2-5 type schedule. Anything related to possession and access, it is discretionary. Vonda, what does that even mean? So essentially, if you are going to court because you want more time with the child, so instead of Standard visitation the first, third, and fifth, you want an expanded schedule where instead of that Thursday for 2 hours, you get the overnight and everything like that. The judge does not have to talk to your 12-year-old. They don't. It's discretionary. But Vonda, you just said that the child is 12 years old. Again, guys, these are the exceptions that you all need to know. It's not as cut and dry as everyone thinks. Just because your child turns 12, I don't want you guys to run to the courthouse and file something because the child has voiced to you that they want to live with you versus the other parent. And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get custody of my child. It does not work like that. Okay. There's also another exception that you all need to know. If a jury trial is requested, if a jury trial is requested and conservatorship, the joint managing conservator and everything like that is at issue, guess what? The court cannot talk to your 12-year-old. Even if the child is going to say, I want to live with dad or I want to live with mom, they cannot talk to him if a jury trial is requested. Why is that? Because that is an issue for the jury to determine. So the judge can't hear that. The judge cannot talk to your 12-year-old. So just to recap, 12 years old, it doesn't automatically mean that the court can talk to your child. It's mandatory if conservatorship is at issue. It's discretionary if possession and access is at issue. And the court shall decline if they believe speaking to the child would endanger the child. And the court also has to decline if a jury trial is requested. Okay. Now, I want to make sure that I gave you guys that information. And I'll entertain some of the comments that I see here. Someone just said, I like it better when you have the real court. So let me explain something to you guys. I appreciate that you guys love me. It's still going. So you don't think for one second that you're just all the time. It's not going to be like that. I believe it equally, if not more important, to educate you all as well as entertain you. Because if you pay attention to everything that's going in the media, there's a lot of entertainment going on. And the things you really need to know are doing this. They're going right over your head. And then when you become aware of it, it's too late. What has happened? Your taxes has already gone up. Situations like Roe v. Wade gets overturned. Something changes in the law that not only impacts you directly, but impacts one of your loved ones directly. So me doing this, the show and the cases that you see, this is where the education really takes place. You get more entertained from the show, although I'm dropping nuggets throughout the show. This part is equally as important. And for those of you who are going to be representing yourselves in court, you have to know this information because you are held to the same standard as an attorney. The attorney could be practicing law 30 years. They know all of these things. You coming in there for the first time, you're held to the same standard. So these are things that I will continue to do because, like I said, education is equally as important. I have a case going on. I would like to share with you to have an idea of what the outcome would be. Sure, if it's in Texas, send me an email. What I'll do is I'll drop my email here in the chat. Is Judge Vonda. Oops, I can't spell today. Judge Vonda B at gmail.com. Just in case, yeah, I don't have a problem doing that. Let's see. How would this endanger the child? Do they fear the child would be harmed by the parent they're being questioned about? That is an excellent question. That is the potential fear that the child is going to suffer from some sort of retaliation, which is why they were anxious and visibly sick, right? So those are just some things to keep in mind. Now, I'm going to hop off of here. I only gave myself 15 minutes today because, oh my gosh, I have so much stuff to do. Thank you for your videos like these and hello from Florida. Thank you so much. I want to let you all in on something. So next week, I will have a special guest on the live feed with me. And I know you guys would want to hear from this guest. You want me to tell you why? So this person is in Texas. They were recently terminated from child support after 18 years, paying for a child that did not belong to them. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Not only did the child not belong to them, the court was aware of it from the time that the child was 4 years old. So for 14 years, this parent paid child support and medical support for a child that did not belong to them. I wanted you all to hear from them directly, not just about the law. I mean, we're going to break this up into segments, right? Because there's so much information that you can learn from this, and you could possibly help somebody else out with it, if not yourself as well. So make sure you tune in next week. It is going to be next Tuesday. Let me make sure I say the date correctly because I'm known for getting the date wrong. It will be next Tuesday, August the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're not doing the morning this time because I have to give them time to get out for work. But yes, we will be going live with that special guest. Make sure you tune in so you can get all of that information. I mean, it blew my mind when they sent me the email and asked to share their story with you guys. So I believed it was something that you wanted to hear. So until then, I will see you guys. Be good to each other. Again, take notes with this information. There is a ton of information that I still have to give you all. So thank you all so much. Have a good weekend. Love you.